Camille, and welcome to the first episode of Just 30 Something. So I'm going to get straight to it. Why is it called Just 30 Something? Because that's when everything has really changed for me and a lot of stuff came into perspective. And most of the people that I went to school with and grew up with is in their 30s now, and I'm sure they could relate, and people that's about to approach 30 can relate too. So this is dedicated to my 30-something people. But it's really geared towards me and everything that I've done, worked on, and working on now. So I'm gonna get right to it. So for those who don't know me, I used to go by Lady E, which meant Lady Everything, meaning I had my hands in about everything. I rapped, I host, I modeled, I was a video vixen, I managed artists, I did marketing. I pretty much got in where I fit in. I was just so in love with being a creative and creating things from the ground up. Always was like that since a little girl. But the heart of me has always been hip hop and rapping. And in that time frame, I'll say between 2007 to 2016, I was giving my all to it. From promoting on MySpace to YouTube to performing to traveling to festivals to hosting here, managing this artist, doing extremely too much, but it brought me so much joy. And when I turned 30, everything went to a halt. Everything went crash. And it wasn't because something happened to me. It was just that, when you turn 30, you feel like, hey, I have to, be at this level in life, which, is a good goal, but you tend to feel bad if you're not there. So in all this time before I turned 30, everything was about music. And seriously, no joke. I started working jobs only to fund my projects and the things I wanted to do. And I just want to put this out there. I never had no budget. Ever. Never had no budget, never had no sponsors. It was really just me working with the little tools I had. When I was rapping constantly, I had a Windows 98 computer. And I did everything on there. I did my graphics. I pretty much overworked it. I was the only child with my mother, so I spent a lot of time in the room building websites, doing all this creative stuff because I had all these programs that came with the computer when we first bought it. And I pretty much used all of them and taught myself a lot of things before YouTube was big, where you can, watch a tutorial and figure stuff out. I was using programs and figuring it out. And then all the time, I was really putting a lot of effort into my music. When I finally started working, it would take me 3-4 months just to save up for a music video. That's why I still to this day will promote Safe Haven, because that cost me thousands of dollars, from the videos to the scenery to the clothes and makeup, everything. But it took me months to, put that song and that video together. To the feature, had to pay for it. And like I said, no help. For real, no help. So I'm dedicating all my time to music, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong. But when I turned 30, it was just dang, credit ain't where it should be, relationship going downhill, not making the type of money I should be making. And the thing about me was, when I was doing all that stuff, it really never was about the money for me. I didn't come in the game as no artist I'm going to be a rich, the richest rapper, the richest host. I really just love to create things from the ground up and build it how I viewed it. It was never about the money. But when I turned 30, I was dang, I'm in my 30s now. I don't have all this time in the world to figure it out. So I slowly stopped doing all the creative stuff. I, in that process, moved from Indiana when me and my ex Sean broke up, moved back home, and a day later, my father died. I was going through a breakup, very hard time in my life. Then I chilled for a year and a half. I don't even think it was a year and a half. I don't really stay single long. That's my problem. But within a year, I was dating somebody else, which I currently still date, which is LeBron Michaels. And he was like, hey, you should just move to Georgia where I'm at And I was like, really? Like, it happened so fast. And I moved to Georgia, but even then, Georgia being such a creative haven, it didn't automatically snap to me to get back to my stuff. It was just like, man, I gotta get a better paying job. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, which was true. But all the creative stuff went down, like to the point where I was working on stuff and then it just dwindled down. It was really a dark space in my life because, yeah, I was building up my personal life, but all the stuff that I loved to do that made me I wasn't doing no more. So in the process, I took my credit all the way up from where it was. I got a job. I got promoted within 6 months I was there. I went back to school. I was doing like all these great things, but it was just like this, like I still wasn't happy. It was this dark space. So I'm here to tell you, like, when you turn 30, yes, it's kind of like a waking moment. Like, okay, you know, I want to get stuff in perspective because I dedicated all of my teenage years and 20s to music. When I turned 30, I was like, oh man, you behind on so much. It's always like, I'm behind. And when you're on social media and you're seeing other people doing this, and that, which I'm going to talk on later in other episodes about how to mentally watch people and not compare yourself. But I was doing that at first and I was like, man, I got to get my shit together. And everything else I love to do went to the back burner. So it really took me to get pregnant. That's the crazy thing about it. I got pregnant, found I was pregnant in like December. I knew right away before I even took a test or anything, before I even missed a period. I knew I was pregnant. And when I found out that I was having a girl, you know, it kind of was like, whoa, what am I going to tell her